I'm Jeff Higgins from Higgins Storm Chasing. It's the 15th of the 2nd, 2015. Boy oh boy, haven't we got a lot to get through tonight. Well, this week is going to bring a lot as far as weather is concerned to far north Queensland, possibly central inland parts, western Queensland and southeast Queensland, pretty much just the entire state. So let's have a look at the rainfall accumulation totals from the Wattle bomb. This model here is a combination of many models put together to give this output of rainfall totals over the next 8 days. Okay, so you can see up here in far north tropical Queensland, forecast totals of up to 400 millimetres plus, as a tropical low out here in the Coral Sea is expected to track west, enter the Gulf of Carpentaria over the next few days, and is likely to form a cyclone. It is then forecast to track southwest into Northern Territory, or possibly west across the top of the Northern Territory. So that's what is influencing the heavy rainfall in this region up here. Down here in southeast Queensland, away from the central coast of Queensland, down into southeast and northeast New South Wales, we also have significant rainfall totals now being forecast, again up to 300 mil here, totals, all right? I'll go on and explain these, but basically we could have another low develop, could form into a weak cyclone, cross the coast around about Rockhampton and track down in a similar fashion to what XTC Oswald did, all right? There's one thing that's more locked in, and that is that this trough develops through southeast Queensland and moves south, delivering this heavy rainfall here regardless of what this low does through the week. All right, we'll scroll on to the next forecast. This is precipitation 7 to 8 days from GFS. You can see here that the low is forecast to track across the top of Cape York, enter into the Gulf of Carpentaria and form or develop into a cyclone. That is expected, and then possibly track southwest or west into NT. All right, so onshore showers will remain through coastal Queensland parts for the early part of the week, and then we have this low possible cyclone tracking down into this region. You can see here this GFS model is going for those 300 mil totals as well, up here in far Cape York, a little bit lighter to the south as it tracks further to the north. So Cairns could be in the clear here. Down into southeast Queensland again, you can see these high forecast totals being forecast for the southeast Queensland coastal regions here. There's your purple 300. All right, so it is agreeing as well as a standalone model. That's GFS. Let's move on to the wind streamline charts. This is for 4 p.m. on Wednesday, and this indicates the circulations as a cyclone up here in the Gulf on 4 p.m. Wednesday afternoon, tracking either to the west or southwest. And out here in the Coral Sea again, you have a new spin up, a new low forming a tropical low. This may track down the coast, and but these onshore winds are maintaining showers anyway. Let's scroll ahead, keep going here. All right, this is 4 p.m. Thursday afternoon. This is the trough we're expected to develop. You can see the winds there ramping up and converging into one area. It is forecast to develop through Wide Bay, Burnett, inland Central Highlands and coalfields extending into Taroom, and then track south through southeast Queensland. That's 4 p.m. on Thursday afternoon. I will go on to rainfall, but I'm showing you all winds first. All right, 4 a.m. Friday morning. Here is the low that is forecast to develop in the Coral Sea and track south. Could form a weak cyclone, might just stay as a tropical low at this stage, but this honestly is a forecast nightmare at present. We'll go with the worst case scenario, or there are a number of models starting to come on and agree with this scenario as well. Now EC is starting to agree as well. So we're starting to go a 50-50 chance of this, hence the video. Okay, so the tropical low / weak cyclone is forecast to cross the coast in the vicinity of Rockhampton. These may change. And you can see all these very, very strong onshore winds and rotational winds on the southern side. We know what that brings, very heavy rain. The trough that had developed Thursday afternoon, this is Friday morning, is still remaining through southeast Queensland parts, bringing heavy rain. Okay. You can see it present there with the dip in the wind lines through this region. Let's keep rolling. This is 4 p.m. Friday afternoon. You can see that the low now tracks south over inland southeast Queensland. All this area here has onshore winds dragging in, feeding in moisture, rain, strong winds. The trough still remains extending down into northeast New South Wales and smack bang over the top of southeast Queensland. I haven't quite seen a setup like this where we have a low and a trough combination, double whammy here. So it's something that we're keeping a very close eye on. By Saturday morning, the low tends to wash out and just remain as an elongated trough through southeast Queensland. You can see that the onshore winds have shifted off and they're wrapping around here onto northeast New South Wales. So these guys could be in for some heavy rainfall as well. Okay, let's scroll on. These are 3-hour precipitation forecasts from 4 p.m. Thursday. So from 1 o'clock Thursday to 4 p.m. Thursday. You can see the rainfall is starting to increase around the Rockhampton area, where that low / TC is coming toward the coast. All right, southern side of it. Showers through Bundy. Here's the trough developing through southeast Queensland, Wide Bay Burnett, tracking south into the southeast coast, extending inland some ways. The heavy rainfall looks like it's going to be focused here. Now, these are 50 mil totals for 3 hours. All right, that is 4 p.m. on Thursday when things start to happen according to models at this stage. The low / XTC, whatever it may become of it, is forecast to cross the coast here somewhere around Rocky. Now, these may change. This is just currently. We'll continue to do update videos if anything changes, obviously. Again, heavy rainfall in close proximity to the southern eastern side of the low. All right, as it crosses the coast, the trough through southeast Queensland. This one's a little bit more locked in. This one's more likely. Okay, this low is the question mark at the moment. So regardless of what it does, it's looking more likely that southeast Queensland will bear the brunt of this trough and be dealt some heavy rainfall. It's 4 p.m. Friday, 3-hour rainfall totals 40 mil here, up to 60, 70 mil there, around Rocky. 4 a.m. that was, 4 a.m. Friday. This is 4 p.m. Friday. I'm doing it in 12-hour blocks so I can see movements and rainfall areas. So as the low tracks down in through southeast Queensland, it then enhances the rainfall again as the trough that was over southeast Queensland sides into northeast New South Wales and heavy rain offshore there. There's some significant totals there. That's 180 mil in 3 hours offshore there. We know that here. 4 p.m. Friday, 3-hour rainfalls. Now, this is 4 a.m. Saturday. You can see the system is starting to weaken and slide offshore, with most of the heavy rain offshore down here off northeast New South Wales, although still lingering rainfall totals in northeast New South Wales and southeast Queensland at 4 a.m. Saturday. After that, it clears out. All right. So just recapping back through, far north Queensland is expected to receive heavy rainfall from this initial low that is developing now, and it crosses the coast at Cape York, forecast 2. Some models have it hanging off here and sliding down the coast as a low. The other models have it moving into the Gulf of Carpentaria, forming a cyclone and heading west, and another low developing, so it splits. All right, and this is the one we're keeping a very close eye on for Queensland, this potential here. Regardless of what happens with that low in southeast Queensland, this trough is looking very likely on Thursday and Friday. Heavy rainfall totals up to 300 down here. Flash flooding likely. Minor to moderate river flooding possible. Depends what this low does. If we start to see an increase in totals and agreement with models, then we'll start to sort of look towards, well, hey guys, we could be going to experience some flooding here. This is an initial video, extension video to show you the rainfall forecast totals occurring at the moment. It is an absolute forecast nightmare. There are many scenarios, but they are the main two. Low crosses there, across Cape York, cyclone, Gulf into NT. Possible new low developing, tracking south, crossing near Rocky or down the coast. You can see the coloured charts there, the rainfall. Separate to the trough system in southeast Queensland, which has been holding for some time now. Okay, far western Queensland and inland parts look like it's going to stay dry, unless this cyclone in the Gulf that is forecast to form tracks down through western Queensland. We do have a few models suggesting that as well. However, most of the bulk of the heavy rainfall looks like it's in the southeast quarter of the state and into northeast New South Wales too. All right, that's how we have it. That's as good as I can give you right now. We'll continue to give you best averages. It's probably a worst case scenario, showing you this cyclone in the Gulf, the new low development, and then its track heading in towards Rockhampton. Okay, this is as latest it gets. This will change. It could come down, could stay off the coast, could come down over Gympie, might not form. The trough is pretty likely in southeast Queensland towards the end of the week. So it's going to be a big week. Very interesting times ahead. Better to be forearmed and forewarned, all right, so that people can prepare. If it all blows away, fair enough. But we can't ignore when models start to throw these scenarios up. We will let you know about it. All right, thanks very much, guys. Take care.